welcome back to the Whole Home for part 2 of 50 ways that we save money in everyday life. I will link part 1 below. If you missed 1 through 25, you can watch those below. And we're going to dive in to 26 to 50, and hopefully you will find some inspiration. I'm sure that, as with part 1, some of these will be obvious and things that you already do, but I think we often have things, one person has things that other people don't think of. And so hopefully you get some inspiration, because I know we could all do with a few more ways to easily save money in everyday life. If you're new here, hi, welcome to my home. I am Kezia, and my goal on the internet is to make lower footprint sustainable living feel less complicated, and this video more budget friendly. That's my goal, because it often doesn't feel that way. But I wanted to just really zoom in on ways we save money every day. So my husband and I put a list together. Maybe we'll do 50 to 100, but we just started with the first 50 things that we thought of that we do a lot of the time, and hopefully you can pull some inspiration from them. Okay. We finished the last video talking about some apps that we use, and these two are specific to the UK, but a lot of these tips will apply wherever in the world you are. Number 26 is the Libby app, and there are a few different apps that do the same thing, but libraries in the UK, you can also rent audiobooks. You do not need to pay Jeff Bezos for Audible to listen to audiobooks. We have been the worst with Audible credits. I think it makes both my husband and my heart sink when we even say the word Audible, because we've had credits and then we've not canceled because we've wanted to use the credits. It's a nightmare that costs money. It is another subscription. But the Libby app, you can rent from the library your audiobooks without paying. Well, we pay in our taxes, I guess, but you know, it's not a monthly subscription. Okay, so ask at your local library if they have a service like that wherever you are. Number 27, again, local to the UK, but you might have something like this similar to where you are, and that is the Waitrose app. Now, I always get flack for being on a budget and shopping at Waitrose, but hear me out on this one. The Waitrose app is free, and they changed their terms and conditions in January 2025 so that members, which is free, members get a free coffee every single day without a purchase. You just have to bring your own cup. You can walk into Waitrose and have a free Americano, cappuccino, flat white, latte, tea for free every day, as long as you have a membership. So well worth it. We combine that with the library, get a free coffee, go to the library. Such a budget win. Okay, number 28, my kids use, and this is wherever you are in the world, but I've seen more adults getting back into piano playing that they used to do when they were younger, and this is the Simply Piano app. It is fantastic. My kids want to play the piano. They love the lessons. They are playing songs that they love, and it is so much cheaper, especially with 3 kids, than putting them all in piano lessons. Now, I'm all about paying people for their services. For us, probably it would be just no piano lessons, or this. It's not hiring someone locally versus this. And it also means they can, schedule-wise, it's so much easier because they can do it whenever. If you're saying, but I don't have a piano, they do other instruments too, and you can find pianos often for free on Facebook Marketplace, or get keyboards that can be stashed away. Which is what we have. The keyboard, it was a hand-me-down from someone else when they moved, but we love it. It is, I think, £14 a month, or a little bit less if you buy it for the year, and it's absolutely brilliant. You can do a free trial to see if it's something that you would like. Highly, 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 highly recommend. It has all my kids playing piano. They love it. Okay, 29 is maybe more of a celebration and a mindset shift than something that you can just do every day, but that is having a small house. And this is, again, incredibly culture dependent. When we moved into this house, so it's actually the exact average size of a house in the UK, which is 850 square feet. So many Americans online said to me, how on earth are you going to manage in that house with kids? We have 1 bathroom. How are you going to do it? But what about when they become teenagers? How? You know, that's so small. So many people. We love it. They cost less in the first place, or they cost less to rent, but then they cost less in bills every single month. They cost less to furnish. There's so many wins of a small house, and I don't think of it as small, but actually celebrating the things that you have that save money, if maybe other people don't consider them a win, I think is such a good way to keep saving. Maybe you don't have a car and you're using public transport, which can sometimes feel so expensive, but is typically cheaper than a car. For celebrating those things, I think the original sustainable people are the people with less, and so often it's not viewed that way. But the same with being budget friendly. Celebrate the ways that your life is naturally frugal because of what you don't have access to. I don't have 3,000 square feet of house, and it saves us a ton of money, and I love that. Okay, number 30. Okay, embracing living seasonally. Now, this could be a whole video on its own. I actually did, I think it's a short video, like a 6 or 7 minute video, about just my thoughts on exploring seasonal living. I will link that below, along with every other video that relates to what we chat about. But so often I think we pay extra because we're trying to pull things from one season into another. We're trying to have things year round. But actually, really the mindset of seasonal living is less, I think, about strawberries in June and tomatoes when they're fresh from the garden, but in like everything has its season, and it's okay to go without things. It's okay to not have things for a time. And instead of being fulfilled by having the things, to be fulfilled by the rhythm of anticipation and excitement and celebrating having that thing, and then the closing of the season of something and not having something for a while. And it builds excitement for when we do have things, which means we need less because we're more excited by the things that we have. But it also gives rhythm and purpose to not having things and waiting for things. So seasonal living being less about the different seasons for different fruits, but more the kind of the heart and soul of seasonal living, which is celebrating not having and then celebrating having, and celebrating, I talked about this in part 1, celebrating the little things and the timing of different things, I think can save us a huge amount of money in that mindset shift when we have patience to wait, and when we're okay going without, and when we bring extra celebration for the times when we do have things. Massive budget win. That's a bit more mindset-y and deeper. Okay, 31, I think you can't see this because the behind me is blurred, but propagating plants. I bought this Monstera about 4 years ago. I don't know if this is in shot, when it was little, and I carried it home in the passenger footwell of my car, and it was expensive. It cost me £60. But I have propagated that Monstera so many times. I have given it as gifts. It is now in multiple places around my home. My sister-in-law has one of mine. My parents have one of mine. I have given others away. And we've propagated other plants as well, both from the garden and from ones that we have bought. They make great gifts. Most people love a nice houseplant, especially like a popular one, like a Monstera. As I said in the first video, YouTube is your friend. That should be a point on its own. Really great for gifts and just filling your house with houseplants. Okay, number 32, foraging. We just made banana and elderberry ice cream with community fridge bananas and elderberries from the hedgerows, completely free ice cream because it just was those 2 ingredients. Look at what you can forage in your local area. We can do nettles here pretty much year round, and it saves so much, and it is fun. It's again about embracing the seasons. Number 33, every time I post this online, no one knows you can do it, and that is taking your own food to the cinema. It's not allowed everywhere, but in the UK, and I'm sure other places, you think you can't, but you actually can. So look at the rules. If you're going to the cinema, you can save so much by not buying everyone a drink and a popcorn, or probably also a little bit healthier, but you don't necessarily need to buy their food to eat in the cinema. There's often rules about like hot food and smelly food, but number 34, I said this actually in part 1, but serve small portions of food. So often food waste is from serving 2 big portions and people don't eat. Starting with small portions. So simple, people can come back for more, but you don't waste food on plates that get scraped into the bin. Serve small portions. Okay, number 35, I will link a video below. That is a birthday party that we did for our kids, but simple birthday parties. There is such a culture of spending so much money on birthday parties. And honestly, like, maybe that's fine if you have the money. I don't know what it does in terms of what it makes normalizes in society, but we do really simple birthday parties with mac and cheese and a homemade piñata and a homemade cake, and we keep it really simple. And my sister lives in New York City, and they do them in the park. They're not paying for venues. They do parties in the park with a cake in the park. Very frugal and simple and happy. Or you can go all out and do what you want, but just being okay and embracing, not keeping up with the Joneses. Simple birthday parties can honestly save, well, depending on the party you're comparing it with, hundreds of thousands of pounds a year. Okay, 36, natural decor. These are not all about sustainability, but this is another really sustainable one. Bringing bits in from outside for natural decor through the seasons. We have, actually, I'll just pull this down right now. Ooh, my half block. I grabbed a twig last year, or a little branch, and made these little paper stars. This is a more kind of holiday-ish one, but it's just a branch from the garden. Embracing natural things, making your own wreath, bringing in flowers or even greens if you have no flowers in the garden. I have a whole video on how to make this. I will link below, but now it's all twisted. But embracing natural decor, even if there's no flowers, greens can make a gorgeous spread. Or at Easter, we do like just a bit of a tree, branches of a tree, and hang eggs on it. I have a video on that too. I will link all of these below, but you're not going all out in buying decor, but embracing natural seasonal decor, and simply can save a ton. Okay, where are we? Number 37, local to here, but exploring your energy provider. I mean, honestly, just rethinking all the subscriptions you have is a huge one. Rethinking your different providers. But we do an Octopus Energy. I think they do a pretty good money off for a refer a friend. I'll put it below if they do. But they have a cheap tariff through the night, so we can set our washing machine or different things to go through the night when money is cheap. We have an EV, so we can charge our car on cheaper, like less than half price, way less than half price, I think, energy through the night, which makes a massive difference. It's not just for EV owners, but exploring, is there a plan where you can adjust your energy use to save a lot of money? 38, communicating expectations and needs. This is probably the scariest one on the list for a lot of people, communicating expectations and needs. But we did this a couple summers ago. We said to our family that we're spending the whole summer with, like, hey, this summer we're probably not going to be able to do multiple rounds of takeout food through the summer. We don't care what everyone else does, but we wanted to upfront set everyone's expectations and say that's not where our budget is and how we're choosing to allocate money. We're happy to cook at home, we're happy to do whatever, but that's not something we are going to be doing this summer. And instead of getting awkward or not communicating or feeling like you have to spend money, we get to communicate our needs and our expectations. And sometimes it's fear of that that can lead us to spend money. Or people are maybe discussing a group activity. Why don't we do this thing and it's really expensive? And just having the boldness to say, that's actually not where our budget is at the moment. Would any of these things work for everybody else? And so often there's someone else in the group who actually is really grateful that someone said that, but voicing those needs and expectations is a massive money saver. Maybe it's the holidays, maybe it's just a group activity. Voice it kindly. 39, we're jumping all over the place, but having home clothes or messy clothes. Again, I see so many people on Instagram say, every night I run a load of laundry, I take my kids' clothes off and I put them in the wash. You're paying more for washing, you're wearing the clothes out. We have kind of messy clothes that my kids will put on when they get home from school every night for a week. And then we wash them because they're wearing them for a few hours, or maybe they have messy clothes through the weekend. And then when we go out, they put on something clean and they come home and they put on their messy clothes. Doesn't wear the clothes out, saves a ton of laundry, and is just practical and money saving. Okay, we're gonna race through these last few. These are some of the ones my husband added. Limiting meat. I didn't think about this one because I was vegan for years. He grew up eating meat at every meal, and that is so expensive. We eat meat about once a week and we buy the cheaper cuts of meat, or we don't eat meat. But reducing your meat intake can be a massive way to save money. Things like lentils and beans, or, yogurt even, so much cheaper than a meat meal, especially when you're hosting or feeding a crowd. But taking a little bit of meat out, we started with a meatless Monday and then went more and more. That is a massive way we're able to spend less on food. 41, growing your own food. And if you don't do it, this can sound like a massive task, but it could be a really small amount and still save a ton of money. But I think the key here is thinking about return on investment. So using a huge amount of space to grow potatoes is not a huge budget win. My kids love it and it's fun to dig them up, but potatoes are pretty cheap and they take up a ton of space. For us, one of our biggest money savers is rocket. It's all of our family's favorite green. It's super easy to grow. In a small space, we can grow a lot so that all through the spring and summer, we can just go into the garden. You could even do it in a pot or a tub and pick rocket, which is a really expensive green, really nutritious, but in a small space, we can actually replace the need for an expensive item. So just thinking through carefully what you buy, or maybe it's flowers, but growing flowers instead of buying them, and think about which ones are cut and come again flowers so you get a continuous supply. I love calendula. But even with not much space or just a box, you can actually replace some things if you think strategically. Okay, 42. My husband discovered this one actually, which is our cinema does massively cut price tickets for the first showing of a weekend. And so exploring little things like this. Are you eligible for a student discount? Is there a cheap showing at the cinema? Are there early bird times? Sometimes we can get into these rhythms and habits and we just keep doing things without going back to basics and exploring, am I doing this in the cheapest way? I know our local trampoline park, the first hour of the day is an early bird cut price time so often. So it's just rethinking those routines in life and going back, is there a cheaper way to do this routine that we've been doing for so long that we don't think about anymore? But for us, Saturday morning cinema, massive budget win. 43, my 4 reusable water bottles, filling them if you're not doing it, or if you buy things on the go, and then it's actually remembering to do it. My kids put a sign on our door because they would forget to take their water bottles or forget to fill them up. But having that sign, so remembering, we all can think, oh, we have reusable water bottles, we don't buy them, but then actually periodically, oh, we forgot them and we're buying something on the go. Are you using the habits that you think you do? So we just put that sign on our door, which means everyone actually fills their bottles, and therefore we actually don't buy things on the go. 44, making coffee at home. When we first calculated how much we were spending on coffee out, it was really good to see over a month, because it was then really easy for us to go, yeah, we don't want that. And it made every little bit of saving part of something bigger. Which leads to the next one, which is we weigh our coffee. If you've seen a What We Eat in the Week video, I show this every time. We used to just throw out the end of every French press or make a little bit too much every time, and we'd go through so much more coffee than we needed to. So we weigh out for every cup, half an ounce of coffee, 10 ounces of water. It makes a perfect cup every time, which means we get top enjoyment, but also we're never wasting a little bit of coffee. My husband is an academic, his life is books and buying books, which can get incredibly expensive. But we love World of Books. It is a B Corp organization. We love it. And then you can actually send books back and get paid for them, which is great. It is amazing. They cover all the shipping. It is such a user-friendly, easy service. So buying them secondhand, but then actually cashing in on when you don't need books anymore and sending them back. Okay, 2 to go. This is again my husband. Buying good clothes that actually last. He is wearing so many clothes that he had before we got married, or when we got married 14 years ago. So wearing clothes, buying quality ones and actually mending them, keeping on wearing them. Specifically though, he buys Nudies jeans. Nudies jeans come with free repairs for life. And that has saved so much money on really great jeans that he has taken in to be repaired. They do it actually all over the world. So look and see if you have one close to you. It has saved so much money. If you don't have a Nudies jeans service though, just getting jeans repaired can make an expensive pair of jeans last a really long time, which was number 2, but that's a specific one. Buying classic clothes that last a long time. Nudies specifically have been brilliant for him. And the device that I am recording this on is a refurbished device from Back Market, which is a brilliant, ethical, I think B Corporation refurbishment service that is all about taking the fast fashion nature of the tech industry out of the tech industry, refurbishing things, keeping things in circulation. Massive money saver, but instead of buying from Facebook Marketplace, you're still getting a warranty, which is really, really useful. So I will link Back Market below, but in so many other ways, in so many other places, there's ways to do refurbished tech as well. Back Market also do like headphones, chargers, so many different things. And lastly, consolidating and canceling streaming services. But we will have patience, big one, could be a point in its own, and wait until a show is fully loaded on a platform and then rent that platform for a month and watch it and just juggle your streaming platforms. And maybe it's not saving a ton of money, but if you're a bit strategic, it can just be that little bit. And if we do a little bit in 50 different ways, it can really, really add up to a significant amount of money. So waiting to binge things and actually just watching what's there that can be watched, not paying for streaming services and then also paying to rent, or just waiting a little bit longer. My kids know when something leaves the cinema and it comes on streaming that we will wait a bit. We will have some patience to watch it until the price drops. So they're just used to that routine and everyone's okay with it. So just having the patience, juggling streaming services a bit, and using it as another way to just save a little bit. But like I said, if we can save a little bit 50 different ways, that is huge. And that is 50, part 1 and part 2, ways that we save money in everyday life. I hope there is a lot there that you can pull from or modify for your own life. I know everyone's looking for ways to save, and hopefully some of those from our real life are useful for your real life. You can, of course, hit subscribe for more money saving, sustainable living, real life videos, and I will link part 1 on the screen in case you missed that. Here's to saving money, and I will see you in another video sometime soon. Thanks for joining.